All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space. Kenny's here. Happy Monday to you. I don't know about where you're at. It's freezing here. I take it it's freezing everywhere right at the moment, based on the news. Every place is cold. Hopefully you're in a place that's warm. We'll be flying in the simulator today in places that are warm. We're still heading south. I'm still heading south. This is my first full... now it's cross countries. I was just doing a cross country down to Mexico. Then I was going to turn around and head right back to Colorado. And I thought, well, what's the point? Let's just keep going, right? We've never flown all the way south as far as we can. So let's just keep going and keep going and keep going. So we made our way all the way down to Managua in Nicaragua at the moment. And another 500 miles, we'll be in Panama City. So, yeah. Let's get going here. Let me get my tools all set up, my automatic scene switcher. And if that is working right, when I click that, that should happen. Good. Good, we're off to a good start. Yeah, I'm taking the Honda Jet right now. I want to show you how little money you make in NEOFLY if you do a freelance job. But in freelance mode, you're allowed to use any plane you want in NEOFLY. Okay, that's not popping up. Hold on. Go to NEOFLY. OBS sometimes, for whatever reason, loses the screen that it's on. All right, so in NEOFLY, if you just want to do freelance and you want to fly whatever plane you want, you're not renting it, the second button on the tab here, freelance mode, right? So this 500-mile job to deliver VIPs, we're only going to make 5,734. I mean, in a job like this, if we had the caravan and we were renting the caravan, heck, if we own the caravan, probably be like a $40,000 job to fly this far. I mean, even flying small jobs in the caravan, when you own the plane, you make buku dinero, my friends. So freelance is, I don't think, I mean, if you're interested and you really want to make money, freelance is not the way to go at all. But if you just want to, you don't really care about the money anymore and you just want to fly around and use whatever planes you want, freelance is a great way to go. That's what we're going to be doing today, so let me set this job up here.
Good morning, my favorite transporter. Passengers will board as soon as you request it.
Hey, in the chat room, we got Henning. He just showed up.
Boarding has started.
And he just said, perfect timing. He just finished an episode of Young Sheldon. You know, I've never seen any episodes of Big Bang Theory, and I've heard a lot about the Sheldon character. Everybody tells me about him. They're like, dude, I can't believe you haven't seen Big Bang Theory. You're like the person that they created the show for. Everybody tells me that all the time. They're like, you are the reason why they created a television show, Big Bang Theory, and of course, you're gonna love Sheldon, man.
Transporter from dispatch. All passengers on board. You can ask for the clearance to take off.
All right. Yeah, I'm always hearing
You're
that.
good to go. Contact the tower for clearance.
So one of these days I will sit down and marathon Big Bang Theory. Maybe I don't know, maybe. I don't want to promise that I will, but it's colder here than Alaska right now. That's what you're saying, where you're at in Germany? It's so cold, man. It's negative. Last I looked, it was negative 10. That was several hours ago. I had to go and do a road trip this morning down to Pueblo and go move a vehicle, transport a vehicle this morning. Oh, man. And then the person that I was following, they had a flat. And so we had to stick around on the side of the road for a little while trying to get this tire fixed. Oh, my God. What a wrong day to be outside. Some days it's just not even worth the money. It's like, why? Why? Couldn't we have postponed this to a warmer day. What was the point of doing this today? Not even worth the money. Okay, so we got our job taken care of. And for those of you who don't know where we're at, we're here in Managua. And the way I've got it set up in the plane, go inside the plane here. This is the route I've got us set up. We're going to be flying south from MNMG. If anybody wants to fly along in the chat room, we're starting out at MMNG. And then grab my flight plan here. So the flight plan looks like this. It goes let me pop this out. Pop out the chat. And get rid of this screen. Okay, so in the flight plan it goes, I'm sorry, MNMG. That wrong. MNMG to MRLB to MROC to MPDA fun. And then we're arriving at MPMG. So that should be the flight plan. Up a little bit. All right. So yeah, kind of looks a little bit something like that. "15 years ago today, Sully landed in the Hudson River, huh?" Thank you for that bit of trivia there, Henny. Really, I'll be darned. Well, hopefully we won't be crashing in any rivers. All right. Got here, we got a warning. What is this? Takeoff config. What do you want? Let's go back to the home menu and see what it wants. Config. Well, I'm not gonna worry about that. The views in this plan are weird. All right, folks, let's get going. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy there, pal. Look at the plane today. Remember the other day I had like no rudder control? Today it's like absolute rudder control. Wow. Easy. Easy. All right, let's rotate. Gear up.
Have a safe trip. We hope you enjoyed your stay here. We'll look forward to welcoming you back soon.
Let's get our flaps up. And turn towards our GPS heading. Yeah, we're at Skydude 99 today. The 99th live stream, or somewhere there. I'm pretty sure I may have missed it. We're probably over 100. Sometimes I screw up the numbers. It doesn't matter. Either way, yeah, close to 100. Tomorrow we're supposed to be at 100. Oh, all right. Plane back on course. We got a big mountain right in our path. So no mountains, no mountains, no mountains. And then I go to get out right on course, and big mountain right in our path. Not a problem. Okay. Been a lovely time traveling down here. All right, let's get over to our console here. Let's get nav pushed. Let's get the autopilot on. And let's get up to about, I don't know what the terrain is down here, but we've been safe at 13 to avoid anything. So let me dial in 13,000. There's 13. With the throttle full up, we can hit auto throttle, and that'll let the plane manage that for us. We'll do a flight level change and begin our climb. All right, we're all set. Thank you for joining in today. Again, kick back and relax. You're always the VIP on these flights. Hopefully next week or so, we'll probably be, well, I want to go over and spend some time in Germany with Hans and Henning and do some glider flying. An 80, yeah. The winds can, yeah. Turning on live weather, that's crazy. An 80-mile-an-hour wind. With the weather the way it is, as cold as it is, I should be training emergency flying right now in Colorado. Showing what happens when you fly general aviation planes like a Cessna with no icing. Show how easy it is for your plane to fall out of the sky when you build up ice on it. There's an emergency procedure where you have to throw yourself at the ground as fast as possible. You just have to dive. You have to dive as fast as you can. If your engine freezes up, you have to dive as fast as you can with the propeller at full RPMs to try to superheat the engine to get it to warm up so it runs for a few more seconds before it freezes again. It's super dangerous, but it's definitely something you should learn how to do. Completely counterintuitive. All right, so we're climbing. Let me double check things here. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You don't have to tell me. I understand. I just appreciate you stopping and say hello. Really do. Look, we got some wind today. Look at the plane jostling back and forth. What do we got here? We got a 15-knot wind pushing us from the east and a 9-mile wind pushing us from our rear end. And we are in... Are we in nav? Yeah, we're in nav. Okay. So yeah, a small wind, but it's enough to make the plane bounce around As you can see, she's getting pushed around a little bit, but nothing we can't muscle our way through. All right, kick back and enjoy Nicaragua as we head down through Costa Rica and then into Panama. That was like the only mountain there. See too many ahead of us. We're in a very narrow stretch where we've got water on both sides of us. That's nice. Yeah, I'm going to definitely watch some more videos on gliding, on understanding thermals and how to find them, and, you know, how to try to locate the center of a thermal. It's going to be interesting. I am probably going to do a lot of crashing, but we'll attempt to do some gliding, and we're going to attempt to do, well, we're going to attempt cross country, and I don't know how far we're gonna get. If we can get 100 miles, I'll be happy. Yeah, we had some light snow to the south today, and it's just coming in patches. We're not getting anything heavy. It's just cold, brutally cold and brutally windy. Brutally cold and brutally windy. Yeah, I heard some places around this country have been getting down as low as -40, -50. That's crazy. Crazy cold. So I wonder if we'll be able to see the Panama Canal. That's something they shouldn't be able to mess up in the simulator. We'll see. I've never seen the Panama Canal. Yeah, and I've never flown south. I've never flown in these areas, so this is all new to me. I don't know why, you know, again, I guess the governments and the situations down here, but I still wonder why so many people want to come to the United States and are running up here. Like 8 million people we've supposedly come in illegally this year. And I don't get it. Why? It's so cold. It's miserable up here. This is not the country it used to be. Our Congress over the last 247 years have ruined this country. You can't afford to live here. Why would you want to try to come to the United States at this point in our history? It makes no sense. You are so much better off staying down south in these wonderful, beautiful countries and avoiding America at all costs right now. I mean, it's not worth it. And we're going through a bunch of strife at the moment, and it's miserable. And we've allowed it to happen to ourselves. We have allowed the people in our government to destroy every single bit of prosperity that we have ever had, and they're grinding us into the earth. And hopefully, everybody's talking about being woke these days. The only thing people need to be woke to is how much we have let our government screw up this amazing country that we have. We're getting to the point where it's like, in some places, they're talking about $20 Big Macs. It costs more to go to a fast food restaurant than going to a restaurant. You used to be able to feed your entire family at McDonald's, which is cheap-ass food. It's crap food, man. It really is. But you used to feed a whole family at McDonald's for about $10. And now it's 50, $60. We just made a small trip to a Starbucks today to get a couple of drinks and a couple of snacks before heading down south today. Always $20. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous right now. Henny's pointing out that the thermals and gliding in the simulators still needs to be worked on. That it's hard to find a central thermal, and it's hard to get the kind of lift that you're looking for. And I've noticed that too. When we were first messing around with the gliders, I would find a thermal, and I'm looking at the thermal graph on the screen. I do the visualizations, and I just spin in circles, and I don't ever seem to really get anywhere. And I just, for 30 minutes spinning in a circle to try to get some elevation, and it's just goofy. Can't get good climb at all. Even when you tweak all the settings so that you're supposed to have super thermals. Very difficult, sir. You're paying £9 over there in Germany for a McChicken. Yeah, that's a $1 menu item. I mean, it really is. It's just, and I know it's not just our country. Our governments around the world have they've ruined us. We have managed to, over the last 50 to 100 years, to continually put people in office that managed to just screw up everything. I don't know why, after 247 years of making laws, that we need to elect people every 4 years. Well, we do here. We re-elect Congress people every couple of years and every 4 years or so. And we put in a new batch of people into Congress to keep making laws. Why do we need any more damn laws after 247 years of lawmaking? I don't know. Why we need these people, I don't know. They are just so worthless and meaningless, and they feel that they have great purpose when they get in there, and they do nothing but make things worse. 247 years of making laws, and every 4 years they go in there like, well, we need to make some laws. You know how many laws we passed this year? We haven't done anything. Good. Don't do anything. Don't help anymore. Unless you're lowering taxes, what is the point of you? There's no point of you anymore. You are meaningless. You are absolutely meaningless. Huh. So Henning in the chat room is informing us about some of the problems you're going to run into with gliding. I didn't check air traffic control, and I probably should have. I should have probably filed the flight plan. Yeah, there we go. I don't like getting too political on these live streams, but man, with the way things are going lately, I'm just getting so bent out of shape. Everything's out of control. Prices are out of control. Politicians are out of control. The government's out of control. We should have lost our minds when Big Macs hit the $5 mark. At that point, it's like, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Well, we need to raise the price. No, stop. Whatever you're doing, stop it. You're screwing everything up. Just get out of our lives, man. Get out of our lives. Convincing us that the world's going to end, climate change, all this crap they're shoving down our throat. It's complete and total garbage. It's all garbage. I don't believe any of it anymore. None of it. Wow, they're asking us to go to 15,000 feet? All right, well, okay. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Maybe the air will be a little smoother at 15, but I doubt it. All right, flight level change. Expediting our climb, air traffic control. Thank you very much. Got it, got it. Oh yeah, and the big thing with the FAA here now, they're diversity hiring. They're like, yeah, we're gonna start hiring people with mental problems and psychological problems for the FAA. These are the people that are in charge of air traffic control and potentially even flying the planes. What is wrong with this country? What is wrong? These people should be, well, I don't want to get, they should all just be thrown out. When you put people's safety on the lines in airline travel for diversity, you're out of your damn mind. These people in Congress that have, or in the FAA, they need to be removed immediately. To use the whole race card against white, to say that the FAA is a white supremacy thing to begin with, that's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Because it's all about your qualifications, your qualifications. I mean, you're dealing with people's lives. Quite sickening. Yeah, that's all stuff we're gonna have to practice. I'm gonna have to practice. Going back to what's being said in the chat room by Henny about climbing in a glider. Yeah, those are things I'm gonna have to learn, try to figure out anyway. Because I'm no good at it. I promised to do some glider flying that like we promised, but you guys should promise to join me in some real formation flying, real flight planning again. I know you said that Hans isn't really, into the flight planning and doing things slow, and you guys like to fly manually. Nah, let's do some fully computerized flight sometime, where we're like aircraft flying, airliner flying, and no manual flying. Got to do it by the computer. Or let's do some of the navigation stuff that you're learning. By the way, you said you were going to spend some time this weekend working on planes, on waxing planes or cleaning up planes and doing some of that stuff. And you said you were going to do some, did you do the navigation training this weekend as well? So what did you get to do around aircraft this weekend? All right, making one of our first turns. We are at we are now at MRLB and going to MROC. I didn't pull up Bushtalk Radio, so we're missing landmarks. Let me get back in there. Try to pull that up. Okay, logged in and signed into Bushtalk, and here we go. Now you should see it. So as we zoom down into Bushtalk Radio here, we'll see where we are at. Is that us? Yeah, that's us. Early on, before getting into navigation, everything's aerodynamic stuff. Other than gliders, you know, but spending lots of time learning mixture and the winds and understanding winds and how to, not a lot of aerobatics. I'm not really into aerobatics, but, you know, I've studied some, you know, the basic maneuvers on aerobatics. The basics of flying, which isn't really basics at all. And he says, yeah. All right, this should trigger. Well, let's... Pause this for a minute. Really? That didn't trigger? What's that? Oh, that's just an airport. That's why. So these are all just airports. That's why nothing's triggering around us. This is... The only triggers are back here, these mountains that we've been passing by.
Lake Arnall is a lake which is situated in the northern highlands of Costa Rica. It is currently the largest lake in Costa Rica at 85 square kilometers. Its depth varies between 30 and 60 meters seasonally. The town of Arnall was relocated to higher ground when the lake was expanded in 1979. The old towns of Arnall and Tronadora now lie abandoned at the bottom of the lake, with the new town
Wow.
of Arnall existing to the northeast on the lake. From November through April, the strong, dependable winds attract windsurfers and kite surfers to its western end. Many consider Lake Arnall one of the world's foremost windsurfing and kite surfing areas. Wakeboarding is gaining popularity in Costa Rica, with Lake Arnall being the center of this activity. Stand-up paddling and kayaking are also popular activities for tourists visiting the lake's eastern part near the earthen dam. There is much good fishing, primarily for rainbow bass, and now kayak fishing opportunities in the shallow and secluded coves. The area surrounding the lake has good hiking, biking, bird watching, and horseback riding opportunities.
Very nice. So looking that way, there's the lake they're talking about. Coming up next, in front of us, this way, in that direction, this.
The Monteverde Cloud Forest Reserve is a Costa Rican reserve located along the Cordillera de Tilarán within the Puntarenas and Alajuela provinces. Named after the nearby town of Monteverde and founded in 1972, the reserve consists of over 10,500 hectares of cloud forest. It draws roughly 70,000 visitors a year. The reserve consists of 6 ecological zones, 90% of which are virgin forest. A high biodiversity, consisting of over 2,500 plant species including the most orchid species in a single place,
Wow.
100 species of mammals, 400 bird species, 120 reptilian and amphibian species, and thousands of insects, has drawn both scientists and tourists alike.
So that's all this out here. The number of orchids is crazy. Really that into plants, but I know that they're rare. All the insects, I'm not real thrilled about that, but you know, gotta take the good with the bad. Probably why everybody leaves the area alone. Too many bugs, man. All right, what was this over here? It was circle. Okay, that was the lake.
Arnall Volcano is an active andesitic stratovolcano in northwestern Costa Rica around 90 kilometers northwest of San Jose, in the province of Alajuela, canton of San Carlos, and district of La Fortuna. The Arnall volcano measures at least 1,633 meters high. It is conically shaped with a crater 140 meters in diameter. Geologically, Arnall is considered a young volcano and it is estimated to be less than 7,500 years old. It is also known as Pan de Azúcar, Canast, Volcan Costa Rica, Volcan Rio Frio or Guachiso's Peak. The volcano was dormant for hundreds of years and exhibited a single crater at its summit, with minor fumaroles activity, covered by dense vegetation. In 1968 it erupted unexpectedly, destroying the small town of Tobacón. Due to the eruption 3 more craters were created on the western flanks, but only one of them still exists today. Since 2010, Arnall has been dormant.
Went back to sleep. Right. What else do we have going on out here? Airport, airport, airport. Yeah, what you're talking about in the chat room. When I was first learning to make flight plans, and there are actually videos up on this on YouTube. I remember seeing it on YouTube, where the pilots are discussing sometimes creating a flight plan that doesn't initially just go the direction you're wanting to go. That is, especially back in the past, for sure. It's everything was determined by the winds. So you might be needing to get to the south, but to get to the south, they might travel north first. It's all depending on the way the winds are pushing, right? It might be safer to go north and then go east and then turn and then go south, and because the wind's going that way. If you were to go straight from your from your takeoff to your the airport you want to go to, the winds are so great in your face that you're going to burn too much fuel. It's going to be dangerous with the winds pushing you like that. So it's safer and faster to go north than east, then, you know, then make your way there. Some of these flight plans these pilots have shown me just blow my mind. And I don't normally... I look at the winds and I pay attention to the winds, but on none of these live streams have I really set up a flight plan that is strictly based on what is the best winds. They're usually pretty mild around Colorado. You know, you do have some days where you have some heavy gusts that could make a really big difference. For the most part, I would say that the area that I normally fly, looking at the weather over long periods of time, it's pretty calm all the time. And you have really good flying in Colorado. Yeah, hey, no need to apologize. Like, again, we got to be flexible. There's, like before with me, you know, I said I wanted to fly, and then I wanted to do a bunch of stuff, and then my schedule got really weird. And now my schedule got to the point where I'm safer broadcasting the live streams at 1, starting at 1, than at 10. I couldn't get my work concluded in enough time. And it's even still, like today, the other day I was still running late, and today not so much late, but still didn't get my title art up, my cover art for this episode up until the last minute, 15 minutes before the stream started. So I'm either gonna have to do them the night before now and get some of that stuff taken care of, or because, man, I don't want to push it out any further than this. Yeah, so cheers, whether you take off 30 minutes from now or just now. You don't have to say why. You don't have to give me any reason. Just say just say goodbye. Cheers. Here's to your health, well-being, and prosperity. Let me check my I'm still on the radar screen. Okay. All right, well, there's something over here.
The Poas volcano is an active 2,708-meter stratovolcano in central Costa Rica and is located within Poas Volcano National Park. It has erupted 40 times since 1828, including April 2017 when visitors and residents were evacuated. The volcano and surrounding park were closed for nearly 17 months, with a 2.5-kilometer safety perimeter established around the erupting crater. As of September 1, 2018, the park has reopened with limited access only to the crater observation area and requires a reservation to be made on the National Park website. Adjacent trails to Lake Botos as well as the museum at the visitor center remained closed. The volcano erupted briefly twice in September 2019.
Here's another waypoint that we're turning at. Here's MROC right ahead of us.
Bava Volcano is an andesitic stratovolcano complex in central Costa Rica, 22 kilometers north of San Jose, in Heredia province. On the eastern side of the mountain it has a lake in what was the volcanic crater, called Laguna de Bava, and in the western side it has 3 hills on the top which are called Las Tres Marias. It is located in the small agricultural community of Sacramento. Bava has several eruptive centers at its summit and many parasitic cones on its flanks. Its three principal summits visible from the Central Valley give it the common local name of Las Tres Marias. 4 pyroclastic cones are present within the 2 by 3 kilometers caldera at the central and northwestern part of the summit. The southwestern peak contains 4 cones, one of which has a crater lake. The last confirmed eruptive activity at Bava volcano has been dated to 8,050 years ago. There were reports of eruptions in the 1760s and in 1867, but investigations at the summit did not find evidence to confirm the reports.
Wow. Looking down, now we have found civilization. Look at all this. Holy moly. Wow. It is everywhere. This is huge. Seems a little dangerous, but again, none of the volcanoes seem to have stretched out to this area. But man, I guess there's no safety anywhere really in the world, but that's living awful close to volcanoes, and then you're awful low. But obviously, doing well down here, especially like looking out there where they're building up, going up the sides of things. No, man, the heck of a way. There's obviously some volcanic stuff that's going to happen over there. Wouldn't want to live over there. It's crazy. Jeez. You're going to need some more rest, man. I don't know what it is. And definitely, they got you on a couple medicines, huh? I always go with what my grandma would say. Overdose on some vitamin C and chicken soup. My grandma was always on me about you're not getting enough vitamin C. And I wasn't. I was not getting enough vitamin C. He was right. He was absolutely right. So if you're not getting enough for a short period of time, and I mean overdose, I don't want to be responsible for anybody's death overdosing on vitamin C, but get as much as you can into you. Check air traffic control and see if they've given us any height changes. I haven't been paying attention. We're all getting close to the top of some of these. No, they still haven't told us to climb and maintain any higher than 15,000. But you got to watch out for air traffic control. I don't want to trust them, because in Colorado they fly me in the mountains all the time. So we're probably okay, but we got to start paying real attention as we get a little bit further into where we're going. No, I don't mean with the medication that they're giving you. I mean getting some vitamin C, like a bunch of oranges, or a bunch of orange juice, or orange, vitamin C tablets. So, eat 12 dozen small oranges and drink a half gallon of orange juice, and, every hour pop a vitamin C tablet, right? So something like that. And then a lot of liquid, of course, and then chicken soup. Lots of vitamin C, a lot. So quadrupling an average, whatever it is, 6 to 10 to 12 to 20 times the normal amount that you average that you put into your tank. Yeah, I'm starting to do peppermint tea now. I'm getting to that age where I got to worry about cancers and crap. And so one of the best things to reduce the phlegm, anti-sugar phlegm fermentation in your body is peppermint tea, mint teas and peppermint teas. I understand now why, like, with Christmas is associated with like peppermint. It's so I'm not a candy person, so I wasn't really into candy canes, and I'm not really into candy at all. And peppermint to me has always been a candy. You got your candy canes every Christmas and lots of peppermint. And now I'm at this age, now I fully understand the benefit of having an abundance of peppermint moving through your system, especially when it's cold, and if you're smoking or if you're in a closed air environment for the winter, and where you can get stuffed up and phlegm can be produced in your throat and lungs or whatever, and you want to clear that phlegm out. Peppermint is so good. Matter of fact, that's what I got from Starbucks today. They have a grande mint tea, and you can have them put peppermint in it. See if there's anything on our map ahead of us.
Chirripó National Park is a national park of Costa Rica, encompassing parts of 3 provinces, San Jose, Limón, and Cartago. It was established in 1975. It is named for its most prominent feature, Cerro Chirripó, which at 3,820 meters is the highest mountain in Costa Rica. The climate is dominated by 2 seasons, a dry season lasting from December to April and a wet season from May to November. During the dry season, the upper regions are susceptible to fires. The latest recorded events have occurred in 1953, 1958, 1976, 1977, 1981 and 1992. This last event, however, affected over 20 square kilometers or 7.7 square miles of vegetation and forced the administration to close the park for 4 months. The park is one of the coldest places in Costa Rica.
You have a good night.
In fact, the coldest temperature,
take care of yourself, stay warm,
Celsius or
stay hydrated, and feel better, my friend. You take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Here.
Yeah, this is definitely the highest peak. She mentioned fire, and I've got a different view on that, of course, too. And there are certain trees that won't reproduce. Their seeds will not open unless there's extreme heat from fire. In Colorado, we have, in other areas around here, we have pine trees. And the pine cones won't open unless there's fire. Fire is a natural part of a forest growth process. One, it cleans up all the dead stuff on the ground that needs to be cleaned up if people aren't cleaning it up. But again, certain trees will not reproduce unless there is a fire. And that has to be a lesson that we should all be taught early on. We're always so afraid, forest fires. Yeah, they are bad, and it will definitely kill things, but it's not all bad that you need forest fires. So some places and some species of trees actually absolutely need it. So, you have to embrace it. and just not really build around those areas. And if you do, you have to understand that you better be building a giant metal house and build a lot of it underground. I mean, we just need to think and build smarter and think about things better. Hals und Bienenbrook. Hals und Bienenbrook. If I break a leg, which means neck and leg breaking. Yeah, like when an actor goes on stage, you say, break a leg, meaning do good. I guess. It's weird that how that is, but... Oh, okay. Looking back again, is there anything coming up? No, actually nothing. So until we get over here, we're back to music. All right, kick back and relax. I'm going to switch to a classic rock station and see what they have to offer us today. That's pretty badass. They got a different way of farming down here. That's what it looks like to me, is farming. But never really seen a farming complex laid out that way. It's probably because of the jungle. That looks like a nice place to live right on that lake. Oh, I'd like to own all of that. Yep, if I was rich, I'd be like, I want to buy that. I want a house right there. Let's see about turning up the terrain detail a little bit more today. I don't want to push it too hard. Let's see if we can pretty it up a little bit. Oh, I feel it. What a cool spot. Oh, cowbell. They got the cowbell going. Explore the space, Gene. Yeah. 2 o'clock here in Colorado. O'clock in the afternoon. Where did my AMD adrenaline go? Yeah. You're just tuning in. We are Nicaragua, Costa Rica area. Show you on the map in just a moment here. Trying to tweak some other settings. I like it. $14.9. Yeah, we're at 14.9 now. Oh, I need to figure out how to switch this map. Hey, how do we get rid of this? I've toggled on a second. I don't mind that. Trying to get rid of the second screen. Split. Well, that's nice. But we're not using any VNAV at the moment. But that's nice. Either do more landings or VNAVs set. I don't know. That's all it was down there. That's it. I don't see, though, how you start changing the information on this PFD. Like, if I don't want this and I want something else. All right, plane is turning. Man, you're making amazing time. All right. $11 minutes after the hour.
Give me shelter or release the time. Is anybody leaving? Can I catch a ride? Or maybe just a ride? It's been so unkind when you see the light, but it's still dark until the longest night. I've just been a million miles away. Salvation from the blues that come my way. I'm keeping empty pockets, but my wallet's fat. Come around to see me, and I'll try to laugh. I'm so low, even when I'm high. So clearly I can't let it slide. No, not even when I find my stride. I've just been a million miles away. Salvation from the blues that come my way. I wanna scream, I wanna dream, and I just find it all obscene. So I've just been a million miles away.
Up here, everything's starting to look a little bit washed out. Do all these people fleeing to the United States not know about all this yet being undeveloped? Right. Folks, you're ridiculous. Go to Costa Rica. They're obviously doing something. Build some hotels. Look at all this water and all this wonderful that you could be going to. There's so much better not coming off here right now. All right. It's 19 hours. I can't even play any of my old commercials. They all get flagged for something. I could try to mute them out if I play them, but it sucks. I have to like any clip of music that you use, any of it, even if it's under 30 seconds, they still just are. They come after you so hard. my station ID. If we got any smoke break stuff here. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. I have to go find this stuff manually. Trying to do a search and find some stuff for you. I used to do a lot of radio. And like I was saying, I don't get to play a lot of it because there's usually something in it that YouTube will find offensive or will end up taking out.
Well, there are lots of great treats this time of year. Kava juice gumdrops, rippleberry fruitcake, but the thing that I most like to bring to the replicator menu this time of year are my balls.
Oh, what? That wasn't one of my clips.
Good morning, Sandrine. Testing the orange whip folder.
No, that's... No.
Hi, this is Jody Rivera, the Venetian Princess, and you are listening to Canias on Trek Radio.
Well, simple that. Gotta clean that up.
Whose ship is this?
It's not a ship, baby. It's a starship.
Whose starship is this?
Zed's.
Who's Zed?
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Man, the quality on these are so bad. So old. I mean, that's old stuff. Old. Didn't know anything about anything recording wise. Still don't in a lot of ways. This one. I don't remember what most of this stuff is. Oh, I like that. That's for UFP Media News. Okay.
And the gods were generous.
Yeah. All right. And the gods were generous.
UFP Media.
Yeah. Reminds me of some good stuff. I was hoping to find the smoke break one. We're at the 20-minute mark, a little after at the moment.
UFP Media. News, weather, sports.
Like it.
I have chunks of corn bigger than you in my stool.
I do.
Hi, I'm Kinius and you're not.
That is true. It's a fact. That's just a fact.
Find the Pope in the Gach contest.
Oh, yeah, the Saturday Night Live.
Cheeseburger.
That's horrible.
No
stuff.
Coke, Pepsi.
Yeah, we're working on some silly Saturday Night Live parody stuff. So, what I'm looking for wasn't in that folder. I had all this stuff, and it's still here somewhere. It's just that I haven't come into these folders in years, and I can't remember, where's what, where's what.
Trek Radio.
Yeah, like some of these would get me in trouble playing these commercials.
Are you being agonized, repressed, trodden upon? Shakar Human Rights Services is here to help with guaranteed results since 2357. Free yourself and take your life into your own hands. Shakar Human Rights Services, located in the Beta Ursay sector block, located on Bajor, turn left at Deep Space Nine.
Yep.
Are people afraid to beam to your ship? Does stuff turn inside out and explode upon arrival? Perhaps it's time for you to consider a new Heisenberg compensator or one of our deluxe transporter units featuring the most advanced matter energy conversion devices available in the UFP.
Nice. Oh, it's Paul Harvey. I got old Paul Harvey clips, huh? I was so good at one time I got commercials from this guy.
My voice makes grown women cry for more. My charm makes even birds buy discounted flights. My humor can make stone statues crack a smile. I burn so bright, I invented a new wattage. I am my own universe, floating freely, unexpectedly, uncensored. You want to climb Mount Everest with me? Kayak the Amazon? Hike the Andes? I lead. You want to smoke rare cigars and drink fine brandy on the terrace with me? You buy. And now you can do all these things, almost. Shatner's world is filled with stories from my illustrious life and career. You will discover and experience how I became William Shatner. Larger than life and bigger than any role I've ever played. Because let's face it, it is Shatner's world, isn't it?
It is. It was. And for a short period of time, yeah, it still is. Glad he's not gone yet. Hang in there, Mr. Shatner. Bum, 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 da, da. How do I not have the 420? What was that clip called? Oh, this is when I was doing Pirates Radio. Contras. Hey, send them below deck. There we go. That's it. That's it.
It's time to puff, puff, pass. You're listening to the 420 show on Trek Radio.
In a weird way, you still are. If you were to type in trekradio.com, it's no longer running the trekradio.com itself. It's a long story. But if you were to type in trekradio.com, it would actually lead you to me. It'd take you over to my lame website, which is just lame at the moment. It's just a bunch of artwork and nothing. It's lame. But I own trekradio.com. If for whatever reason you're listening to this particular show and you're like, well, why don't you take advantage of that? You know, I'd like to run trekradio.com. I'd sure like to be a part of something like trekradio.com. Then go ahead and contact me, I suppose. You know, nothing's ever dead in this world. We can always try to get something going again. But I was so burnt out with the Trek community after 2016. Everybody got so political. I did myself. I got caught up in it. But it made everything so ugly that I no longer wanted anything to do with the Star Trek community. When they have the nerve to say, if you voted a certain way, we don't want you in the Star Trek community. You're no longer welcome in the Star Trek community. Hey, well, up yours, man. That's fascism. You take your fascist stuff and shove it, man. I'm an American and I can vote any way I want. I can completely vote contrary to what I want just because I have freedom of choice. I just decide, I'm going to flip a coin. I can vote however the hell I want. And it's not up to you to use the clout of the Star Trek community to try to bully people into voting the way that you want. It's okay to be cool with your candidates and say, yeah, I vote for this person, yay, be, t-shirts and pins and rallies and, but if you're going to turn around and say, if you vote a certain way, you're not welcome anymore, up yours. All I can say to you is if you voted a certain way and look at the way things are going right now, I think you may have voted in the wrong way. Cool, vote however you want. I'm going to vote how I want. But right now I can say I don't like the way things are going, and the people that have currently been in power, the way they're running things, I don't really care for it. So I'm going to not vote for them. I'm going to vote for this guy, and I don't care if you like it or not. That's how I'm going to vote. That's my choice.
It's time to puff, puff, pass. You're listening to the 420 show on Trek Radio.
I love that little... I can't even do it. That little throw-up sound at the end of that thing, that cracks me up to no end, man.
It's time to puff, puff, pass. You're listening to the 420 show on Trek Radio.
Need a good laugh. So yeah, I'm going to probably have to mute all of these, everything that I've been playing here in my old radio stuff because YouTube... Jitsu was awesome. They want me down to 6,500 feet? Yes, I will comply, air traffic control. We have been up way too high. Can't see much of anything, don't get a good... It's been alright, but don't get to look at the ground real good. Being a flight level change, what did they say exactly? They said exactly 3,500 feet. Wow. We must be really close to where we're going. Down here, man. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, we're not that close, but obviously they don't care. 3,500 feet. And I don't want to expedite any faster than that. So. Yeah, I was looking for an Ambo Jitsu commercial. Yeah, I'm sure that's all gonna get flagged. Bye-bye. A lot of case one bye-byes.
Thanks for flying UFB Starlines. We've arrived at Rigel 4. Please put your trays in the upright position and start exiting the Starliner. Chad?
Yes, please start filing out in an orderly manner.
This isn't Riza.
Oh, I'm sorry. Being responsible for your ticket destination is not part of my job description.
Hey.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for flying UFB Starlines. Bye-bye.
My luggage! bridge.
We'll beam outside. Bye-bye.
But
Follow my pointing fingers. Bye-bye.
Hi, excuse me. How many points do I get for this trip?
I'm sorry, do my ears look pointy to you? Bye-bye.
What? Ooh.
Track number 7
It
from
was.
the album Jacksploitation
It was.
by Jackalopes
Oh my
from
God.
Magnatune.com.
Oh my God. They told us to come down to 3,500 feet. Yeah, the computer's freaking out. Hold on. One, it shouldn't be freaking out. We're really pulling some frames here. So, I hate turning anything down. The worst part of the show, anytime we have to get low. And man, I hate pulling it this low. We don't have very many clouds today, so turn those off. Ugh. Still gacking, but air traffic control told us to come down here. And look at this. This is so dangerous. It didn't account for this little mountain range that we're going over right now. It should be clear after this, according to the scans. But if it kills us, I'm going to be so pissed off. It did too. You son of a gun. Never trust the air traffic control in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Never. And you know what? That's probably going to show as a wreck now, too, in NEOFLY. So all we've been doing is losing money on this trip. We've lost like $500,000 so far, I think. It's been a very expensive trip. Oh, man. I know exactly where we're at, too. Again, I was scanning the terrain, questioning its height, and I looked at an area on the map, so okay. Let us go back to the main menu. Son of a gun. Anytime we're having too good of a time, too. It doesn't like it. It's gonna, let's make something bad happen. Silly thing. There was another song that I don't know how YouTube's gonna, if it's gonna like this one or not. But back in the day when I was doing Fleet Radio, I had to find music for the podcast for Hailing Frequency. My part of Hailing Frequency was called Fleet Radio. And the idea is that we were going to bring radio broadcasting into Star Trek Online. Anyway, so the podcast was about promoting that, so finding music that people would like that might kick ass when you're playing Star Trek Online. And this is one of them, Black Hole by DECONSTRUCT, from the album The Human Condition. That'll wake your ass up.
Lord
Yeah. Deconstruct. Yeah, so we were flying over these, and the air traffic control, that was, it was my fault too, because I should have just gone up. I shouldn't have put it to the test. You know, a real pilot would have said, hey, the ground is just too close for comfort. And instead of testing air traffic controls, what they want us to do, instead of testing to see if it's correct by allowing the plane to crash, I think I'm going to go up a couple 100 feet at least and ensure that we don't have a problem. So that was my fault because, putting ATC to the test. And again, I should know better. I fly Colorado. And I don't trust air traffic control at all flying in Colorado, and I ignore air traffic control because it's so poor in Colorado. And we're overspeeding. Let me go ahead and turn on auto throttle. Pilot, turn on nav. And let's start raising our altitude. At least to 6. 6. I think the altimeter was 8, but let's see if we have a reading. No. Huh. Okay. Well, let's see. Now we look pretty good right at the moment. Here. I'm getting stuffed up again. It's cold here. It's cold everywhere, man. Sure seems so. I'm not going to say we're, global warming or cooling or whatever. Sometimes it gets really cold. Climate change is called seasons. What else do we have in this old folder of mine?
Welcome to Starfleet Academy Weapons Training, Cadets.
Yeah.
Today, we are going to talk about the phaser. What exactly is a phaser, you may ask? Well, it's the best darn multi-purpose weapon ever created by man. Feast your eyes on this quick little video.
The phaser is an acronym for Phased Energy Rectification. This directed energy weapon, created around the year 2200, has been the standard weapon for Starfleet personnel since. Most such weapons were either Phaser 1, otherwise known as the hand phaser, which fit neatly in the palm of the hand and were used primarily when conspicuous weapons were undesirable, especially during diplomatic missions. Then there is the larger, more powerful Phaser Type 2, formerly known as the pistol phaser. Phaser Type 2 weapons were capable of a wide variety of settings, from mere stun results to power settings as high as 16, capable of leveling a small city. This weapon also had the ability to be overloaded. Type 3 phasers, also known as phaser rifles, pack the heaviest punch and can deliver power settings higher than level 16 and are capable of tearing through multiple bulkheads. The phaser has become the most popular and widely used weapon in the UFP since 2200.
That's right, Cadets. The phaser is one of the greatest tools in your box. It can heat up your coffee, cut wood, laser etching, write large SOS messages, hunt small and large game, purify food and water, keep pests at bay, heat up rocks to keep you warm, dig ditches. It can be used as a cutting beam or welding device. It does just about everything. We will teach you every part, how to take it apart and reassemble it blindfolded. You will be taught how to maintain and upgrade a phaser from components, and if you're good enough, Maybe one day you will be able to create a legendary golden phaser with almost limitless power. Are you ready, cadets?
Oh, I'm ready. Oh, that psychs me up every time I hear it. The golden phaser. Golden phaser. Mythical, legendary, golden phaser.
Begin log. On the recommendation of Photonic Officer Harrison Ford, I have begun an investigation into the existence of an item in mythology known as the Golden Phaser. We initially went to Vulcan, where most scrolls and documentation on the item still exist. Our research then led us to believe a Klingon, an ancestor in the bloodline of Kalis, reportedly took the item from Vulcan and was assaulted and killed somewhere in the RICA sector in the Sirius sector block. We are en route now. End log.
Maybe that's what we should be looking for. Golden phaser, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Last seen near Panama Canal, which we're currently heading toward. Oh, another artist. Oh, he didn't get mad at me for playing this, but he was so prominent back in the day. We played so much of his music, and he's just such an amazing guy. And him and his musical partners, fantastic. And I hope they don't get mad at me for playing this, but it's in this folder with all this other legendary old stuff that I have. And Brad, I hope you don't mind me playing this. It's one of your best. All of them are your best. Every one of your tunes is the best. This might sum up your life too. Sure has mine.
In my place where I am found, I'm still amazed that you're not around. I know that it's a blessing to be a man who can't pay attention to my life. I've got no time to make you believe me. Set in the sun for someone to leave me. I've got so much time to take it easy now that I'm on my own. Right. In my head, without a sound, build me up just to put me down.
Wow.
I know that it's a question of being down for some kind of tension that I like. I've got no time to make you believe me. Set in the sun for someone to leave me. I've got so much time to take it easy now that I'm on my own. I've been out of it, but I'm trying so hard to get back where I fit. Lately, I've been out of it, but I'm trying so hard to get back where I fit. 'Cause I've got so much time to take it easy.
It was also
I hate
home
cutting
to a
it,
host
but I
of
can't shut this
transient
off.
U.S. Army and U.S. Navy aircraft.
I forgot about
Personnel
Bushtalk.
assigned to tenant
Dang it.
commands at Howard AFB tracked drug traffickers from South America and its cargo aircraft, primarily rotational Lockheed C-130 Hercules aircraft from the active duty U.S. Air Force, the Air Force Reserve and the Air National Guard, provided theater airlift for United States Southern Command contingencies, exercises, and disaster relief, and conducted search and rescue in the vast region. Only a portion of the transports, several special mission C-130s, 2 C-27 Spartan aircraft, and executive jets belong to the host unit, the 24th Composite Wing, later redesignated the 24th Wing. Although regular Air Force C-130 aircraft rotated to Howard AFB for 90-day detachments in the 1970s and early 1980s in the support mission called Coronet Oak, this mission was later transferred to the Air Force Reserve and the Air National Guard, which then provided C-130s for Volant Oak. Vought A-7 Corsair II and later General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon fighters also rotated through Howard AFB. Aft out of the jungle, 500 yards from the Pacific Ocean, Howard Air Base opened in 1942. It was named after Major Charles H. Howard, who flew in Panama in the late 1920s. The only five-star general in Air Force history, Henry H. Hap Arnold played a prominent role in the history of Howard AFB and military aviation in Panama. As a captain, Arnold led the 1st Air Unit, the 7th Aero Squadron, to the Isthmus on March 29, 1917. Within a week, he left for Washington, D.C., and more pressing duties there. When he returned to Panama in May 1939, he was a Major General and Chief of the Army Air Corps. The purpose of his visit was to select a site for a new air base. He chose what is now Howard AFB and suggested the name Howard Field, in honor of Major Charles H. Howard, a personal friend and former subordinate who had served in Panama during the period 1926 to 1929 and who had been part of Arnold's crew on his famed flight of P-10 bombers to Alaska in 1934. Major Howard died in an air crash on October 25, 1936. On December 1, 1939, the new air base officially became Howard Field. Construction began shortly thereafter and the first troops arrived on May 15, 1941. Howard Field hosted both fighter and bomber aircraft during the World War II era. The base was inactivated on January 1, 1950, and its real estate turned over to the Army.
Very sorry about that. We were listening to Brad Sock singing Out of It, and then this thing kicked in, and I couldn't stop it. They really don't have a stop button on Bushtalk, which I'm surprised. So I had to cut real quick. And then I needed to turn off the autopilot and get us down here. I wanted to see this building. And unfortunately, we don't have the best graphics and photogrammetry going on down here in Panama. But that is, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't see buildings like that every day. Yeah, and I just wish the graphics were much better. But still, look at, I mean, that's a trip, man.
The Megapolis Tower 1 is a skyscraper that is located in the area of Avenida Balboa in Panama City, Panama. Construction began in 2008 and ended in 2011, is 230 meters high and has 63 floors. It is administered by the Cameron Hotel Group. This hotel comes with complimentary wireless internet and a luxurious spa area.
All right, give me 1 second here. And I don't see stuff like that every day. So I'm going to pause and get everything turned up as high as I can get it at the moment. And do a screen capture. And I want to post that to my social media. Right. So I apologize, and but I'm gonna switch back on that music now. So don't. It's gonna be an abrupt change and very loud. So be prepared. 3, 2, 1. We're here. Da, da, da. It's the wrong airport. Take it easy now that I'm on mine. Isn't that the greatest? That is one of the greatest.
That was track number 9 from the album Out of It by Brad Sucks from Magnatune.com.
Where I initially found him. I don't know if Magnatune's still around or not. But back in the day, time flies too fast, folks. Way too fast. So that was Brad Sucks. And if you liked the sound of that, every song that he and his bandmate and mates, every one of them is awesome. Basically, I think it's just him and this gentleman named Jason, I think. And, or just him. And I've never heard a bad track. You know, even on an album or two, you get like, I bought it for these songs, and then the rest of the album sucks. Honestly, there are very few artists out there that I've ever said, I love every single song on the track on every album he's ever done. They're all fantastic. You can't miss having Brad Sucks in your music library. And you should just get to know him in general. And he does a lot of live stuff on YouTube. And he's basically Canada's a legendary musician out of Canada, a rock lord. So if you're into music and you're on YouTube, go to Brad Sucks and make sure you get to know them, and know the music. So, all right, I'm looking for. I have to cancel landing intentions. It's. I thought I was selecting the right airport. I was wrong. I was trying to set up the landing in the airport we just took off from when we need to land here in Panama. I really need to find out where this where the Panama Canal is. If it stretches this whole, I would imagine that it stretches the whole way. But let me quickly go over to Google here. And pull it up. Yeah. So it is all of this, the Panama Canal. And that has to be Bushtalk. Gotta be. You gotta be. Centennial Bridge. Labor Cut.
The Panama Canal is an artificial 82 kilometers waterway in Panama that connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean. The canal cuts across the Isthmus of Panama and is a conduit for maritime trade. One of the largest and most difficult engineering projects ever undertaken, The Panama Canal shortcut greatly reduces the time for ships to travel between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, enabling them to avoid the lengthy, hazardous Cape Horn route around the southernmost tip of South America via the Drake Passage or Strait of Magellan, and the even less popular route through the Arctic archipelago and the Bering Strait. Canal locks at each end lift ships up to Gatun Lake, an artificial lake created to reduce the amount of excavation work required for the canal, 26 meters above sea level, and then lower the ships at the other end. The original locks are 32.5 meters wide. A third, wider lane of locks was constructed between September 2007 and May 2016. The expanded canal began commercial operation on June 26, 2016. The new locks allow transit of larger, Neo-Panamax ships, capable of handling more cargo. Colombia, France, and later the United States controlled the territory surrounding the canal during construction. France began work on the canal in 1881, but stopped because of engineering problems and a high worker mortality rate. The United States took over the project in 1904 and opened the canal on August 15, 1914. The U.S. continued to control the canal and surrounding Panama Canal Zone until the 1977 Torrijos-Carter treaties provided for handover to Panama. After a period of joint American-Panamanian control, the canal was taken over by the Panamanian government in 1999. It is now managed and operated by the government-owned Panama Canal Authority. Annual traffic has risen from about 1,000 ships in 1914, when the canal opened, to 14,702 vessels in 2008, for a total of 333.7 million Panama Canal/Universal Measurement System tons. By 2012, more than 815,000 vessels had passed through the canal. It takes 11.38 hours to pass through the Panama Canal. The American Society of Civil Engineers has ranked the Panama Canal one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. The Bridge of the Americas crosses the Pacific approach to the Panama Canal at Balboa, near Panama City. It was built between 1959 and 1962 by the United States at a cost of $20 million.
Oh my God, $20 million.
From its completion in 1962 until the opening of the parallel Centennial Bridge in 2004, the Bridge of the Americas was a key part of the Pan-American Highway. The Bridge of the Americas greatly increases road traffic capacity across the canal. 2 earlier bridges cross the canal, but they use movable designs and have limited traffic capacity. These earlier spans include a small swinging road bridge, built into the lock structure at Gatun, and a swinging road/rail bridge constructed in 1942 at Miraflores. The Centennial Bridge was constructed to eliminate the bottleneck of, and reduce traffic congestion on, the Bridge of the Americas. The bridge is a cantilever design where the suspended span is a tied arch. The bridge has a total length of 1,654 meters in 14 spans, abutment to abutment. The main span measures 344 meters, and the center part of the main span measures 259 meters. The bridge's highest point is 117 meters above mean sea level. The clearance under the main span is 61.3 meters at high tide. Ships must cross under this bridge when traversing the Panama Canal and are subject to this height restriction. The world's largest cruise ships, Oasis of the Seas, Allure of the Seas, Harmony of the Seas, and the Symphony of the Seas will fit within the canal's widened locks, but they are too tall to pass under the Bridge of the Americas, even at low tide, unless the Bridge of the Americas is raised in the future. The Centennial Bridge is also a fixed obstacle, but its clearance is much higher at 80 meters. The bridge has wide access ramps at each end and pedestrian walkways on each side.
Okay. All right. Sorry to keep it paused for so long, but I really wanted to ask your opinion on what you think those round spots are. And I've been thinking about playing SimCity and Cities Skylines again recently, and I might be doing some of that, but I'm hearing there's some serious problems with Cities too at the moment, as far as the trade and food, and again, it's nothing matters. It's not a real simulation. They're having that kind of a problem. But when you're constructing highways, you have to have all these points, you know, when you're for on-ramps and off-ramps, and you have to have good foundations. And I wonder if those were built as pads for potential future extra lanes going this way and that way, right? Because eventually, if traffic in the future, or maybe they've already done something, but when you're coming off this highway, right at the moment, they've got that one stretch that keeps going forward. But in the future, if they were to do massive development, you could see how you would want to build off of this and have routes going this way and that way, and interchanges and twists and turns, and, you know. And I wonder if those are all future pads for plots to, who knows? It could be something else. It could be little farm things. I don't know. But that's the way I see it. I would build around and leave areas like that around highways and roadways in cities when thinking about building into the future and building multiple interchanges, on-ramps, off-ramps, yada, yada. All right, so now let me unpause this. Let me get back to the cockpit and unpause it. And now, wanting to actually fly the canal.
The International Maritime University of Panama is in Panama City, Panama. It trains cadets to become merchant marine ships officers. It is located in the area of Panama City, on the site of the former Albrook Air Force Base. Today, the Maritime University is experiencing one of its best times. Their cadets are recognized for their leadership, respect, honor, loyalty, discipline, and non-tolerance of dishonest acts. It belongs to the International Association of Maritime Universities, being the only one in Central and South America to achieve this step. Its main building was severely damaged by a fire in January 2008, although there were no injuries or fatalities. The fire is believed to have started in a storage area on the building's top floor. UMET was established by a law passed in 2005, and it absorbed the former, which was founded in 1958. The university's rector is Victor Luna Barana.
I don't know how in the hell we ended up building all this and spending all those years building it all, and then somehow or another it changing into Chinese-controlled hands. Whoever made that decision, anybody remember getting a vote on that? I don't recall getting a vote on that. There's some shifty stuff that has taken place. Earlier, I was just bitching about government in general. Doesn't matter which government, our government, your government, their government. Governments around this planet are just, they're all out of control. And they've managed to, we've all been prosperous in the past at some point. I mean, stupidly prosperous, especially here in the United States. We've had decades of unprecedented, stupid prosperity. And now we've gone just the complete opposite. We've managed to allow people in government over the last 247 years to strip away every shred of prosperity. Every bit of it. And I question, why do we need to keep re-electing people to put in power in seats of government to sustain the government, to create laws, to think that they have to sit there and just constantly create laws, when after 240 years, how many more laws do we need? Look what you people have done to us. You've destroyed everything. And not just for us, for them and for them and for them and for them and those people over there. You people have been the worst in the time where we should be entering a Star Trek era and everybody should be getting along, and we have enough history underneath our belts to understand what's caused all the problems and how to run things good. And now we have are developing high levels of technology to make everything better and make everybody happy. And we have Netflix and we got all this great stuff. And they destroy everything. They make our lives hell. They take everything from you. They're the biggest parasites right now on this entire planet, and they're running every one of us into the ground when we've done so well. And again, we've had times of great prosperity where everybody's boat is rising across the world, and everybody can enjoy some happiness and afford to live, and just that, afford to live and not have to worry about anything. And all the times of strife have been caused by them. So I don't know that if things will ever change, because we've had discussions on, well, I've had talks and rants.
Panama Centennial Bridge is a major bridge crossing the Panama Canal. It was built to supplement the overcrowded Bridge of the Americas and to replace it as the carrier of the Pan-American Highway. Upon its opening in 2004, it became the second permanent crossing of the canal, and it was opened for traffic on September 2, 2005, when new roads leading to it were completed.
Did we build that too and give it to the Chinese?
Built at the gates of the Miraflores locks.
Here, let us build everything for you.
These bridges can only be used when the doors of the gates are closed, and they have a very strict limit capacity. The bridge is a cable-stayed design with a total length of 1,052 meters or 3,451 feet. Main arch is 320 meters or 1,050 feet, and with an elevation of 80 meters or 262 feet above the Panama Canal, allowing large ships pass by below this. The bridge is supported by two towers of 184 meters or 604 feet high. It has the capacity to accommodate 6 lanes of traffic through the canal. The bridge was designed to withstand earthquakes, which are frequently recorded in the canal zone.
Will we see any on that side? Yeah, there's one. There's two. Well, you can see them under the ground. They're building a mooring there and there. It seems like there's a couple of spots where you see circular pattern. That's the best word I can use to describe the pads, is a mooring, right? Talking about those circular plots, where to me it looks like they've poured massive areas of concrete as a mooring, a point where you can connect to, and built up on down to the bedrock. So back to the cockpit. Let's see. Where are we at? 19 minutes after the hour? Right. Yes.
It's time to puff, puff, pass. You're listening to the 420 Show on Trek Radio.
And in a weird way, we are. I am still TrekRadio.com. But it's dead and gone. Until I bring it back, if it ever comes back. But I have the domain. So if you were to type in TrekRadio.com, it'll take you to my currently extremely lame website that I think only has like some of my artwork on it. So I had I've owned a couple of radio stations, but everything since has been shut down and it's all been consolidated. Everything is forwarding to my really lame website. But it is 20 minutes after the hour, so that's the only promo I have for 20 minutes after the hour.
It's time to puff, puff, pass. You're listening to the 420 show on Trek Radio.
All right.
The Panama Canal is an artificial 82 kilometers waterway in Panama that connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean. The canal cuts across the Isthmus of Panama and is a conduit for maritime trade. One of the largest and most difficult engineering projects ever undertaken, the Panama Canal shortcut greatly reduces the time for ships to travel between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, enabling them to avoid the lengthy, hazardous Cape Horn route around the southernmost tip of South America via the Drake Passage or Strait of Magellan and the even less popular route through the Arctic archipelago and the Bering Strait. Canal locks at each end lift ships up to Gatun Lake, an artificial lake created to reduce the amount of excavation work required for the canal, 26 meters above sea level, and then lower the ships at the other end. The original locks are 32.5 meters wide. A third, wider lane of locks was constructed between September 2007 and May 2016. The expanded canal began commercial operation on June 26, 2016. The new locks allow transit of larger, Neo-Panamax ships, capable of handling more cargo. Colombia, France, and later the United States controlled the territory surrounding the canal during construction. France began work on the canal in 1881, but stopped because of engineering problems and a high worker mortality rate. The United States took over the project in 1904 and opened the canal on August 15, 1914. The U.S. continued to control the canal and surrounding Panama Canal Zone until the 1977 Torrijos-Carter treaties provided for handover to Panama. After a period of joint American-Panamanian control, the canal was taken over by the Panamanian government in 1999. It is now managed and operated by the government-owned Panama Canal Authority. Annual traffic has risen from about 1,000 ships in 1914, when the canal opened, to 14,702 vessels in 2008, for a total of 333.7 million Panama Canal/Universal Measurement System tons. By 2012, more than 815,000 vessels had passed through the canal. It takes 11.38 hours to pass through the Panama Canal. The American Society of Civil Engineers has ranked the Panama Canal one of the 7 wonders of the modern world.
Yeah, so somehow or another, it's being relayed to us here in the United States that the Panamanian government turned over control of the Panama Canal to the Chinese. So I heard and have been hearing for decades that that's who's controlling everything. It's the Chinese. And I don't know what kind of bill we owe them. Because they say, well, we owe us a lot. But between all the espionage and stuff that they've stole from us and things that they now control, if that's true, the Panama Canal, the bill should be zero. The debt should be zero. The espionage, the crap that they have pulled on us, espionage-wise,
is a large freshwater artificial lake to the south of Colón, Panama. It forms a major part of the Panama Canal, carrying ships for 33 kilometers of their transit across the Isthmus of Panama. The lake was created between 1907 and 1913 by the building of the Gatun Dam across the Chagres River. At the time it was created, Gatun Lake was the largest man-made lake in the world. Gatun Dam was also the largest of its kind. The lake is situated in the valley of the Chagres River. It was formed, and the river widened and deepened by the construction of the Gatun Dam about 10 kilometers from the river's mouth in the Caribbean Sea in 1907 to 1913. The geography of the area was ideal for the creation of a large lake here. The hills bordering the valley of the Chagres open up widely around the area of the lake, but come together to form a gap just over 2 kilometers wide at the location of the dam. The damming of the river flooded the originally wooded valley. Almost a century later, the stumps of old mahogany trees can still be seen rising from the water, and submerged snags form a hazard for any small vessels that wander off the marked channels. Gatun Lake has an area of 425 square kilometers at its normal level of 26 meters above sea level. It stores 5.2 cubic kilometers of water, which is about as much as the Chagres River brings down in an average year. With the creation of the lake, many hilltops became islands. The biggest and best known of them is Barrow, Colorado Island, home of the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute. The lake has given its name to the Gatun structure, which may be an eroded impact crater.
So, flood it for the rest of us and then plop the Smithsonian right in the middle of it. I find conspiracy everywhere. That's me. I don't trust anything anymore. Everything has had ulterior motives. Everything is a cover for something else. I don't take anything at face value anymore. And then when I hear, oh, they flooded all this, and then the Smithsonian's in there. Well, the Smithsonian lately has been telling us it's just lost a whole bunch of history. Well, I thought that was your job. You had one job. You're a museum. Your job is to preserve history. So we have all these newspaper article clips, newspaper articles, and reports from the Smithsonian themselves and other newspaper outlets reporting on their activities from the time that they were created. Newspapers have been around, it's nothing new. So what the Smithsonian has been up to has all been documented, and now that we're calling them on these ancient structures in the United States that they reported on, and giant skeletons and pyramids and unbelievable stuff. Oh, what, they've lost it all? Oh, all those giant bones that they reported that they found, these skeletons, they've lost it all? What do you mean you've lost it all? Really? So in the United States, in the area where they were reporting, they found all this amazing stuff back in the day. Ancient ruins and temples and pyramids and gold and the most amazing wonders. What did they do? They flooded all that too. They did the exact same thing. They created Lake Powell. They created Hoover Dam. They flooded everything and dammed it up so that everything was flooded. And then they've conveniently lost the history. So coming down here, and for the first time hearing this is all new to me. Flying over this area, and they're like, oh yeah, this wasn't here before. They built the dam and they flooded this, and it was all for the Panama Canal. All for the creation of the Panama Canal, when they could have come in at other points, as we see. And it looks like they did. But in doing so, they needed to create this dam, which flooded all this, and they talked about all the mahogany trees and the forests, and a lot of the hills are now islands. And then they conveniently throw in there that Smithsonian right in the heart of it all. And it's possibly the site of an old impact crater of some kind. Really? there's just so much that we don't know. I've been watching old movies like Hercule Poirot, Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot movies, Murder on the Nile. And but let me bring that one up, Murder on the Nile. They're walking around ancient sites, and I'm always blown away at how people have recorded Egypt in movies and how it looks today in documentaries and yada yada yada. And it is just so alien. I'm not saying it's alien, but I'm just saying it is so alien. It is completely alien to today's language, the way we write, the way we communicate. It's so foreign, it's alien. Because the average person can't look at anything written on these Egyptian structures, which was obviously meant to, again, they wrote it in stone. They wanted us to know what this stuff said. And there's still so much debate as to what hieroglyphics are actually saying. And then the span of time is so long that the modern Egyptians had really nothing in common with the ancient Egyptians. Like, the language had completely changed that much. So the modern hieroglyphics actually have no bearing at all whatsoever, and no relationship to the actual languages of ancient Egypt. By the time modern Egypt was around, they were studying ancient Egypt. And you look at structures around South America, and as we have moved through here, all these pyramids, which most of them we haven't been able to see. They blacked them out at the moment for us. They haven't been visualized, hand created, or whatever in the simulator. But when you look at photos of those places as well, the languages and the image, the iconography, everything about it is so foreign that our brains can't just immediately read that and go, oh my gosh, what a story, you know, what a word of warning, what think about that when I look at our modern structures and things that we write on the walls and engrave in stone in our language today, that, you know, I always think that down the road it's easy enough to learn and that everybody will be able to understand it. But that's what they thought back then too. And we'll make this so simple that for generations ahead of us, generations after us, generations and generations after us, it'll be so simple for them to understand. They'll be able to look at these walls and go, oh my gosh. Nope. All right, let me turn back on the music here and try to get this airport for landing. All right, what do we got? Cockpit, please. Cockpit.
That's right, baby.
That's right.
Come here, honey, sit here by my side. Sit here by my side. Come here, honey, sit here by my side. Sit here by my side. Snuggle up, sugar, gonna take you for a ride.
That's right, baby.
Nine 7-4. Right down 1-1. Trying to sucks when you lose faith in your institutions. Easy now. Settle down. Welcome to Panama City. Good enough. Right. So 500 some odd miles today. And we're down to Panama City now. All right, so we're right there on the world, in the world. This is the route we flew, the Panama Canal, up to this lake, turned around, came back, landed here. So tomorrow, something like this. Probably make it as far as here. Damn, a lot of ground to cover. I don't look forward to flying over the water. It makes me nauseous and terrified. Yeah, why all airliners traveling over waters don't have floats on them, I don't know. I doesn't make any sense to me. I'm gonna fly anything over water, I want it to be more like a boat in case you have to stop and go fishing. I don't love the idea at all about being in an airliner and something going wrong over a large body of water. Makes me sick. Alright, so we'll try to make it down here. Definitely am excited because the place is called Jose Maria Cordova. That's my mother's maiden name. That's her last name. So I'm a Cordova. So we'll try to make it to Jose Maria Cordova tomorrow. Oh man, Farmer Cool's been in the chat room. And I didn't say hello back. And he said hello 3 times. I feel horrible. I am so sorry, Farmer Cool. That's what I get. I have so many screens open and I was going through all that music and I covered up my chat. Other than Hans and Henning, I'm not used to anybody being in there and I get stupid about it and not look. So I'm so sorry about that. So basically this show's in the can. This was live stream number 99, give or take. I can't say for certain that I haven't Then a day we could be either 100, 105, or 95. It's one or the other. But we're logging tomorrow as 100. You have a fantastic day, fantastic night here. Cheers. Here's to your health, well-being, and prosperity. And I will see you tomorrow.